We're very proud to be Ford dealers, and the Ford brand is an iconic brand, and we're proud to be part of the Ford family. There's 3,300 Ford dealers, and Ford right now, for Bommarito, this is the #1 franchise in the whole group. Sold over 2,000 new Fords last year. So it's, and we feel there's a lot more to come. We feel it's going to continue to grow. We feel we can sell 3,000 Fords out of this place, so it's huge. But we basically built this new facility for the 21st century. We've got this place built for at least another 20 years. As you can see, it's very spacious, it's easy to do business, we have a huge service drive, and it's just modern and fresh.
All right, the first thing we're going to do today is we've got Heroes Care here, John Jerome and Dave Woolley. Where you at? Right here on the side. Raise your hand, guys. These guys brought the military hardware, helped us get the color guard, the national anthem. These guys work diligently year-round to help our veterans. When someone gets deployed and that wife's by herself, they put somebody with her one-on-one, not only just during the deployment, but for months after to make sure she's got support. They told me recently that they have 495,000 diapers. Is that correct? For children. They got 15,000 toys that they're going to give away at Christmas time, so no vet goes without a present. So they do a great job. So I encourage you to engage yourself with these guys today. Talk to them. One of the things we're doing today, the Ford executives will be talking later, we have a new program that helps our first responders and military, and I don't want to take their thunder, but they're going to talk about it today. I also want you to please love on these guys, and let's give them a round of applause for their support today. Next thing we want to do is when you come into one of our facilities, where's Terry Watkins at? Right here. Terry served in the Vietnam vet area. He's one of our store managers here. You never know who you're going to touch and what a great man he is. He's a hard charger. He's always ready to go. You think he's a drill sergeant, hearing him go. He's always ready to get the troops moving, aren't you, Terry? We love him on Monday morning meetings. Right in front of us, Jerry and Mary Hart. Raise your hands if you would, Valley Industries. And Mary works at North County Christian over here. Her brother was in the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier for 26 years, Lieutenant Michael Blassie. Now he's back home with us in Jefferson Barracks. So Mary and Jerry, thanks for coming today. You never know who you're standing next to that's been touched by one of our first responders or our military folks. Mayor McGee here does a great job. We went on a boss lift with Admiral Metcalf last year. Same thing, Vietnam vet. In fact, we were riding in a Black Hawk helicopter and put his hat over his eyes and got a little choked up. I said, "You okay, Mayor?" He said, "I thought I was done with all this." He says, "I was a young man when I went into the LZ the first time." And we love this guy. He uses Ford products in his city over here to keep his city safe. So let's give all these folks a nice round of applause. Okay, next we're going to introduce Rear Admiral Metcalf. He is a man that needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him a little introduction anyhow. He was commissioned in 1976 through the NROTC University of Missouri. Rear Admiral Metcalf, who's retired now, has spent 6 years on active duty, earning his designation as a Surface War Officer. He transitioned to the Navy Reserve in 1982, continued on for 28 more years before retiring as a Rear Admiral in 2010. Across his career, he served in the military, nearly every theater of operation: Western Pacific, Middle East, Europe, with increasing responsibility of command and non-command assignments. As a flag officer, he also served at the Pentagon and Coast Guard headquarters as the inaugural director of the National Office of Global Maritime Situational Awareness and reported to the White House. He completed his military career as Commander, Navy Region Midwest. Please give a warm ESGR and St. Louis Hazelwood welcome, Rear Admiral Lee Metcalf.
I am delighted to be here today. This is what St. Louis is all about. This is what companies that care about our community is all about. I'm here in a couple of different capacities. One, I am the chair for employer support for Guard and Reserve, with emphasis on that employer. I work with employers all over the state of Missouri. I have full-time staff, and I have 100 volunteers that coordinate and engage and help Guard and Reservists that work for those companies and be successful on both sides of that coin, helping the employers who have had to keep the show on the road as those Guard and Reservists have gone off, sometimes not 1 or 2 or 3, but 4 or 5 or 6 deployments. And so that challenges any organization to be able to get their daily job done. But I'm also here as a representative of the veteran community here in St. Louis. And to them, I am proud to put my uniform back on. The reality here is that we have a tremendous talent pool, and to be able to help those folks coming either recently off of active duty or who have been back for a long time, engage successfully with employers and with our community is huge. One of our biggest resources. In some cases, we just don't tap it well enough. But I also represent the some 300 not-for-profits just in the St. Louis region that have come to be in order to help those veterans and our military members as well as their families. And one of the best examples of that, you just said thank you to with Heroes Care. An amazing group, an amazing infrastructure here. And so I am delighted to be part of what I see the Bomm family has done and continues to do in our community, which is so critical for who we are and our identity, not only here, but nationally. So my hat is so off to Frank and his team for what you do here and what we're about to do with signing some further commitments and your engagement with the Kauffman Foundation and elsewhere. Frank, I can't thank you enough. With that, Jerry, do we have something we want to sign?
We'll have Frank come up and have him. He's going to
Great.
And then Jerry and John and I will do the picture afterwards.
So this is a statement of support that goes without saying. You see it all around you. But this is a great mechanism signed by the Secretary of Defense, and that we validate and encourage employers to engage. And you need no more encouragement, but we love to have your signature and have this allow you to display this in your offices.
Wow. Admiral, that is beautiful. Yeah, we've got a lot of rewards, but this one's going to mean a lot to us.
So nothing's done till the paperwork is signed. So right there, there's your spot.
I was in the Navy, not as long as him, but there's always paperwork, you know.
It's only a short enlistment contract. It'll be okay. So with that,
Thank you so much.
if I could, my coin as the chair for the state of Missouri. Thank you, sir, for what you do.
What a deal. Isn't this wonderful? Admiral, I'll tell you what. Why don't you re-enlist now? Come on.
Hey, I have paperwork in the car. I can do it. We can do everybody here. We're ready to go.
They still give a signing bonus?
Depends on if you want to work down in the engine room. I have a great deal for you.
Oh, no. I did a little bit of that. I
knew
even
you
did
did.
mess cooking.
All right. It's all good.
Let's give the Admiral a nice round of applause. Before I actually came to work for Bomm, I actually worked at the Pentagon in Reserve Affairs with the SecDef office with the ESGR to help Admiral out in the field to do events like this and to do BOFs lifts. I encourage you to go to their website, see them, get invested in the ESGR, become one of the volunteers. They need your help. A lot of good people doing a lot of good things. Thank you, Admiral. All right, next. Introduction, Mr. Wayne Kauffman from the Kauffman Fund is here. We have a big presentation to do to you today. We love what you do to the community. Wayne and his group, Erwin, Hal, where's everybody at? You guys all, where's all your rest of your crew at? Come on up. We got Al Finkelstein, Hal Berliner, Steve Rosenblum, and Erwin Loiterstein. These are one of the charities that we support out in the field, and Wayne's going to tell you a little bit about how they got started and what they do. Thank you.
Wow, what an honor to be partners with such a great organization like Bommarito. Big thank you to Kevin Hall and the Bommarito family. My brother Ralph, we do this in his memory. He was a businessman here in St. Louis. He was an Air Force veteran for 4 years. Unfortunately, in 1990, my brother committed suicide. And to this day, since then, we have been raising money in the St. Louis area to help veterans and children's charities. We are really pretty unknown, even though we've been doing this for over 20 years. We have raised and have given away over $1 million. These guys up here behind me, we are all volunteers. Our advisory board are all volunteers. We have no paid employees. So everything we do, over 90% of what we raise goes back to help the veterans and their children. So a big thank you to these guys that support what we do.
Well, on behalf of the Bommarito Automotive Group, Frank, John, Jerry, myself, we're going to make a donation of $5,000 today to the coffee. As you can see, this is the big check. We're going to give him out front in a minute. The one he really wants is in my pocket, and he'll get it as soon as we're done. So John, Frank, and Jerry will come around this way.
Which pocket?
All right, aren't these guys great? Erwin that's with him, one of the reasons we made this specific donation, they have a big golf tournament every year. When's your the date of tournament?
August 18th, Whitmore Country Club.
I knew he wanted to say that. They're going to do a great golf tournament. We're going to help support that. Since Bommarito is number one with Ford and number one in the whole state of Missouri, we're going to be giving out the trophies that are number one because we wanted to be associated with winners like the Kaufman Fund. All right? All right, next. There's a man that I love dearly, that I report to and I work for every day, that makes my job exciting to come to work for. It's Jerry Eichel. He's our vice president, partner, general manager. The guy wears lots of hats. And when you hear him talk, you'll know why I love working for him, and you'll love him too. So let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you, thank you. I want to thank everyone for being here today. It's a very special day for Bommarito, a very special day for us, special day for Ford Motor Company. I want to thank the military that's here. I want to thank all the first responders, the fire department, the police department. We're very grateful. We love the city of Hazelwood. Hazelwood is business friendly. They are a wonderful community. We feel very safe and protected here. And they're just an outstanding it's an outstanding city, an outstanding area to do business in every day. And I just want to thank the city as well. Got some funny stories about the city that are positive. We remodeled the Nissan store, 18 years ago. This is going to tell a little bit how friendly they are. And we were saying, yeah, we need to expand the showroom, but we're going to leave the we're going to do the construction. We're not going to shut down our business. We're not going to move into a trailer. We're saying everything's fine. So we're putting it up, and we got birds flying in the showroom. We're selling cars outside and inside. Hazelwood inspector comes by. Everything looks great. Thank you, and leaves. And whenever you do a construction project as big as this one, it's very detailed and very complicated. And City of Hazelwood made it just a piece of cake. We're all in this beautiful building today, and we've got Mike and Lou Chiodini here, the architects, and we spent hours and hours and hours designing this at this location, at their location, and you look how beautiful this is and how well designed it is. I have to put take my hat off for the Chiodini family for what they helped us create. So. We've had incredible success in Ford in Hazelwood. And we've got an outstanding management team and a whole employee staff of over 80 employees at this Ford location. So this accomplishments do not happen overnight. These accomplishments do not happen without working as a team. So I want to also thank all the managers, all the employees of the Ford dealership for everything they do to make this day possible. I also want to say we're very bullish on Ford Motor Company. Excuse me. Very bullish on Ford Motor Company. It was 113 years ago yesterday that Henry Ford incorporated Ford Motor Company. 113 years. If you think about the iconic brand of Ford, you think about Ford's place in American history, it's amazing. They've battled depressions, recessions, wars, and they're still standing. And there's not many automobile manufacturers that are still standing after 113 years. They are poised to go into the 21st century strong. That's one reason we made this commitment. We feel this is an easy bet with Ford Motor Company. They've got some of the best automobiles that are sold today. The reliability, the durability, and the quality is outstanding. The design is outstanding. And of course, we have to talk about the Ford F-150, the #1 selling truck in America for 39 years. So it's... I want to say another couple things about Ford Motor Company that makes them unique in corporate America today. When you work for Ford Motor Company, you can retire from Ford Motor Company. You can go into work, do your job, and know you're going to be able to retire in 30, 35 years. And they've got an army of veterans. I deal with other manufacturers, I deal with other industries within corporate America, and they don't have the values that they care about their employees. And when economic downturns come, Ford Motor Company has an arsenal of experienced professionals that are going to navigate them through those tough times. And they keep doing that over and over. And when I sit down with the Ford executives, you get a comfortable feeling. So that's just really unique today. People say you can't retire from a company anymore. There's about 6 or 7 Ford executives here today that all have 30 plus years in. And that's just a wonderful organization. It makes me feel good as a Ford dealer. Now, I want to bring up our Chief of Police and Chief of the Fire Department, Chief Riddell and Chief Hall. Here we go. I'd like to bring Frank and John up as well. We're going to give the city 2 new vehicles, one for the DARE program and one for citizen patrol. I want to thank the Hazelwood Police Department and Fire Department for bringing their vehicles here today and just being an outstanding part of this community. Also, now I'd like to introduce Mayor Matt Robinson from the city of Hazelwood, the great city of Hazelwood.
I'd like to thank everybody for this beautiful day here, coming out on this beautiful day. It sure is a nice event here to do this opening. The Bommarito family has been big in Hazelwood, obviously. It's almost like we have to apply for an application to rename 270 Bommarito Way right here through Hazelwood. I think that'd be a little bit difficult. But with that, that means a lot to the city. They bring a lot of business to the city. They bring a lot of services just here for our residents to drop their cars off and get them worked on. My girlfriend brags about how she can just come down and get her oil changed every once in a while, and they give her a loaner car to take off in. But they've done a very good job here. They say 18 years. I can remember when they first came to the city of Hazelwood. And yes, when we work with our businesses that come into the city of Hazelwood, our public works and code enforcement, we've got our David Stewart over here in charge of public works and code enforcement. They do work with the problems of keeping the businesses open and getting them in the doors. Everybody wants to get in the doors before they're ready, and code is up to code. But yes, we do try and do the best for our businesses and our residents in code enforcement. But really, I'd like to introduce our a couple people here today. We've got Matt Zimmerman right here behind me somewhere, our city manager, who's in charge. Here he is, right over there. We've got 3 council members. We've got Carol Stroker, Bob Abishon, and Bob Parkin here from the city of Hazelwood. And I believe we've got Tim Lee over there from the city of Florissant. I don't know if there's any other Florissant council people here, but thanks for coming, Tim. And we'd like to just thank the Bomm family for all they do. Obviously honoring the veterans here today and the police department and the fire department the way they do. We really appreciate all they do for the charities and so forth. When we need something for parades or so forth, they're the first ones there with vehicles, convertibles to help us through that parade. And we really appreciate all you do for the city of Hazelwood, the residents. Thank you.
Alrighty, I've got the pleasure to introduce the president of Bomm Automotive Group, John Bomm.
Wow. Mr. Mayor, thank you. Guys, real quick, we had a great turnout, but I got to personally thank, a little reverb. Point down? All right. Admiral Metcalf, Sisters of Mercy, saw you guys here. Monsignor Polizzi and Bomm are here today. You might want to take a look at them, guys. They're going to do the blessing later. Ford management team, Jerry touched on it. Police Chief Hall, city officials, members of the press, fellow Bomm Automotive team members, great customers and family of Bomm. I mean, it's great to see you all here today. It's unbelievable. This is really another true, joyous, momentous occasion for the Bomm family. As you know, this marks the official grand opening of this Ford facility. You guys, we started this building a short 5 years ago, 2011. Just to give you a little history, it was selling about 200 vehicles about a year. Okay, we're going to sell over 2,800 this year. Okay, 2,800, 5 years. We bought the facility from Valley Ford, for some of you guys that remember. Frank Sprick and his family, great family. Okay, the Ford point itself, they were wondering if it really should be here. Jerry and his team proved that absolutely that it needs to be here. And again, that team has been number one for us. When you get a chance, you guys take a look at this facility, walk through it. Jerry touched a little bit about Chiodini. We'll talk about the builder here, Mr. Dieselkamp, Advanced Engineering. We patterned this building to increase Ford experience and the customer experience. Just walk it a little bit and you'll see all the things we did. Great touch points, but they meticulously walked over this facility and worked labor intensive, some hours back and forth just to make sure every touch point was awesome. So again, Jerry and his team did a great job with that. I want to personally thank all of you again. This is a true testament to helping bring this organization to the point it's been. I mean, we are now in our 44 years in business. 44 years, you guys. The mayor touched on this corner a little bit. We in the Bomm Automotive Group like to call it Jerry's World, okay? Sorry, Mayor. We call him kind of the mayor of the Hazelwood here in the Bomm world. Jerry and his family are here today, and I want to thank them personally because Jerry works an unbelievable schedule, okay? Some of his family's here, Michelle's here, and the girls are here, and the family. Drew's here too. You guys, thanks for letting us borrow Jerry, because 29 years, Jerry's labored for the love of Bomm, and you can see, guys, Bomm Honda, Bomm VW, Bomm Business Center, okay, got some tenants over in there, loving to be part of the brand, Bomm Collision Center, Bomm Nissan, Bomm Ford you're standing in, okay, and you'll hear about some other things we're working on after this from our CEO, okay. All that is Jerry putting the team together. I'm not going to kid you. Me and Frank are putting the resources together, but Jerry and his team have made this possible. And Jerry, I owe you a big congratulations. You did a great job here. Okay. A couple other people I owe thanks to, our suppliers. I mean, there's 19 franchises, you guys. We're in every neighborhood. Our banking institutions, Banterra Bank, Ford Motor Credit. What can I say, guys? It takes a lot of money to make this thing go, and they've been very resourceful. When I ask for it, they give it to me. This stuff is expensive. I'm not going to kid you. The city, we talked about it. It's such a great pleasure to work and do business in the city that supports local businesses. I have some places where they do not, and it's an absolute struggle. So you have no idea what that means to us here. Okay? So without further ado, guys, I'm going to bring up a very important man. Jerry touched on some of his friends in the Ford division here again. He runs the day-to-day operations for Ford Motor Company. He's the man who's our direct contact with Ford. He's about in his 10th year, I think, Kevin, with the region, and absolutely our go-to Ford dealer guy. It's Kevin Klausner. He's the regional manager, sales and service, Ford division. Come on up, Kevin.
Wow, isn't this facility beautiful? I tell you what, it's an honor and privilege to be here today. I am Kevin Klausner, the regional sales, parts, and service manager for Ford Motor Company, but I'm also a native Missourian. I grew up about 100 miles from here. And it's an honor to have the Bommarito automotive family as part of the Ford Motor Company family. They've been truly outstanding. I also want to make sure that I introduce a few folks here from the Motor Company, from our partners at Ford Credit, Mr. CB and Tom Evans from the Motor Credit Company are here today. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm sure Jerry and John will say it's okay for me to say that they are factory authorized to sell every new Ford on the lot today. And we got Ford Credit here to help with all your financial needs, so they can take care of you. We also have the market representation manager for the central market area here, Becca Kelly Anderson, is here with us today. And Eric Knapple and Tom George, both market representation managers for Ford Motor Company as well. And I'm going to invite Tom up here just to say a little tribute to Frank. We got to know the Bommaritos back in March of 2011. And I think John was a little light on his numbers, a little heavy on one side, a little light on the other side. Bottom line is, this store has been phenomenal for Ford Motor Company. They took a store that was selling less than what they average on a monthly basis on an annual basis. The previous store, its last year in business, sold about 120 sales, new Fords and cars and trucks. They sell that on an average month over the last 5 years. In fact, they've sold north of 10,000 new Fords in this last 5 years, which is phenomenal. Now, 8,047 of those were sold one at a time. So that takes a lot of work. But even more impressive than that is the fact that they have been able to win Ford's most coveted customer satisfaction award, the Ford President's Award for customer satisfaction. So selling all that volume and how they go about selling all that volume is really the stock and trade for Bommarito. So thank you again for that. Okay, so there's a saying at Ford Motor Company, success has many fathers. Failure's an orphan, right? I'm taking a lot of credit for their success. But I do know that the true father of success for the Bommarito Automotive Group is Frank Bommarito. So Frank, thank you very much for all you've done. As a little tribute to Mr. Bommarito, I've asked a native St. Louisan, Tom George, to say a few words.
Thanks, Kevin. I guess two things. St. Louis was very important to me, and Ford Motor Company is very important to me. And I want to take you back. I'm very impressed. Jerry knew it was our birthday yesterday. That's pretty impressive. You did your homework. I want to take you back. We talked about timelines. I've only been here 5 years. Now, I don't know if you guys read the Post-Dispatch, but every Sunday morning, Frank always writes these great commentary editorials. If you don't read them, you should. I've never disagreed with you. They're always great, common sense, good reads. Frank wrote one about Henry Ford back in 2010. If you look at the ad, there's no blue oval at the bottom. He wrote this ad about Ford Motor Company and Henry Ford before he even had the franchise. So we knew we had a great partner when he wrote that. And it kind of stirred the market up a little bit. You know, and I think when he went in March, his leadership, and you're seeing it today with this great building, it kind of raised everybody's performance else in the market. So we're very appreciative to have Frank to be up here as part of the Bommarito organization on the Big Corner. I want to thank Jerry. I think we worked on this thing. The first day we were out here with Fordland was, May 2nd, 2013. It was a Friday. It was a long week, and the facility actually came together, 3 years later, almost to the day. A lot of work, a lot of going back and forth. And I know when Jerry was doing this, one comment he made is he wanted to have a championship stadium for his team. And he did make the comment, it doesn't matter if I have a championship stadium if I don't have a championship team. Well, we knew we had the championship team because they've been doing things forever so well around St. Louis. They've been around for 45 years. So let me just say we're great to be partners with Bommarito. They're an excellent partner. We love their friendship, and we hope we continue for many more years. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Okay. It's also my honor and privilege to introduce a senior leader at Ford Motor Company, the General Sales Manager for Ford, Mr. Matt Bradley.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. And this is really an exciting day for Ford. And I've been to a few of these, and you don't really know what to expect. And I came down from Detroit today, and Kevin picked me up at the airport, and we came down the highway, and the first thing I saw was the big blue oval, the sign nice and high, and then I came around the corner and saw this magnificent and beautiful facility that said Bommarito Ford. So my eyes opened, my jaw dropped, and it was like, wow, this is spectacular. And that's only the facility. And then I come inside, I meet the team, and you can feel the energy, and you can feel the culture here, and it's just an amazing place. And for us to be associated with Bommarito is a privilege and an honor. And when that partnership started in 2011, we're lucky, and we're privileged to be able to attract the investment and the resources from such a major automotive group like Bommarito. And you heard from John, you heard from Kevin and Jerry what's gone on here, but it is really fantastic as it relates to volume. But you can see also how much of an icon and a pillar in the community that Bommarito is just by looking around the room and seeing all the participants in this celebration. So Ford is honored. We can't thank you enough for the investment and for your resources. And to be associated with the Bommarito name is very special, and I feel that today. For Jerry, we've gone back a little ways on the council, and Jerry represents the whole region for Ford, and he does a wonderful job, and I know how hard he works, and I give you credit, Jerry, for taking this from a 100-unit store to a 1,000-unit store and satisfying thousands of customers every year. So to all the Bommaritos, thank you for putting Ford back on the map in Hazelwood. Thank you.
Again, we got to thank Mr. Bradley, guys. He's got a very, very busy schedule at Ford Motor. As you know, they are a car company, absolutely on the move. They're very progressive. The leadership by Mark Fields is unprecedented right now. So we're glad and so happy to be part of the team, Matt. It's incredible to watch your success. And we've worked with Mark previously, and everything he touches really keeps going and turning to gold. So it's an honor to be part of the team. Next in line, guys, and again, Tom, I got to say something about this article. We did that on purpose, Tom. You can see this timing. It was November 14th. My dad goes, I want to write something about Ford. I was really close to making the deal. I'm like, oh, Dad, you're going to just totally warp everybody. You cannot tell anybody I got the franchise. He did it so articulately. You guys, if you haven't followed his article, you got to read this every Sunday. It's, and I have Vito from the Post here today. Where's Vito? So Vito's right here from the Post, okay? Not Vito, nor John, nor anybody is allowed to edit the article without clearing it with Frank. You guys got that? So it's his own column that no one is allowed to edit, okay? If we do edit it, we have to clear it by him. And we have his assistant, Lisa, and his prized possession friend here, best associate. She's allowed to type a few things, but I'll tell you what, if we mess with it, we get the wrath of Frank, okay? So take a look at it. It's awesome, okay? Couple things, and I'm going to bring Frank up, you guys. He is the man, undoubtedly, that started this great brand 44 years ago. For some of you guys that don't know, we started in a little town called Grover, Missouri. Okay, that's now Ellisville, Missouri. We were a single-point Oldsmobile dealer. That's one franchise, okay? Oldsmobile got a little hot back in 1972. The Cutlass got hot. I won't take that away from them. Okay, but we've grown it today to 19 franchises, 800 team members. We're getting ready to add a few more. Okay, and without his vision, without his foresight, and without his ability to say yes to us and keep our dreams alive, okay, somebody's got to be up there saying yes. Okay, none of us would be here today. Okay, I want to bring up my father and our partner, Mr. Frank Bommarito.
What a neat crowd. God almighty. I really didn't expect it was going to be this. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. Admiral, thank you so much. All the special guests. You're here today to celebrate another Bommarito building and the Bommarito success story. This probably is the best building we got, but we got a lot of nice buildings. And what makes them really nice is we got some great people running them. You met my son, Johnny. You know my son, Tommy, Brad, Mike Jordan, my adopted son, Jerry Eichel. These guys were all young car salesmen selling Oldsmobiles not too long ago. Well, it seems to me not too long ago, but it's probably been 30 or 40 years ago. But at one time, you know, that's where we started at. So what I want to tell you is Ford Motor Company is a great company to be in business with. They take care of us, dealers. They make sure we're competitive. They build probably the best cars they've ever built, or probably anybody's ever built. And the personnel that work for them are just as, they're peaches. Business is business. And as long as you do the right thing, Ford Motor Company is just a great people to be in business with. And they take care of their customers. I've seen them fix a lot of cars out of warranty. They take care of their customers. You're our customers. Some of you here are driving Fords. Some of you here are driving some other products. We got a lot of great customers out there. The officials right here in Hazelwood, the fire department, fire chief, all the officials here, the police force, great people to do business with. We would have never, ever thought about investing this kind of money with any other city. This is a great city to do business in. They do it on the right way. They're very accountable. They're diligent. And I'm going to tell you something. They got a great police force and fire department. I'll just give you an example here. When Ferguson was burning, I was seeing it on TV. I was home comfy, you know, just ready to go to bed. And holy moly, I mean, that's up in North County there. I better call up and see what's going on. Little girl was 17 years old that answered the phone. She says, Mr. Bommarito, is that you? I says, yeah, honey, how's things going up there? She says, well, we're selling some cars. I said, well, what about things going on up further north? She said, well, so far, nothing's happened here, but I know this. She was actually a resident of this little city here. If I make one phone call, the fire department, the police department, and all of the city officials will be here in 2 minutes. And that's the truth. And that's why we love doing business in Hazelwood. I'm probably a little premature in saying this, but if you look further north here, there's a Toyota dealership up there. It's got the name Cooley on it. On July the 1st, the name will be Bommarito Toyota. We like to give our customers a choice. Everybody probably would prefer a Ford, but we're going to have to sell them a Toyota once in a while. We did this again. We met Clay Cooley, a great guy from Texas, out of town, had to fly back and forth. He's a good car dealer in Texas. This market was a little different for him. This is our market. We know this market. We got 400,000 people driving our cars right here in the metropolitan St. Louis. They will shortly get a letter telling that we can now offer them a Toyota. For 6 years, we looked at different opportunities. we try to select an opportunity when we're going to be in a place to sell cars to be the price leader. And the way we put this deal together, Johnny and Jerry and my other son got together with Mr. Cooley, who was really a nice guy. I really enjoy him. And we put together a deal with him that we can be the price leader for Toyota, just like we are for Ford. And that's our next move for the city. And of course, the city, wonderful to deal with, helped us in every way they could, and we're back in business with them again, right here. Well, anyway, there'll be another celebration taking place. August 17th, 2016, the Bomm Automotive Group and family will celebrate their 45th year in the car business as a dealership. I started much younger than that. I started at 17 as a car washer. And for you young guys out there, because I was a good car washer, I'm going to say this, not in a shy way, none of this would have happened if I hadn't been a good car washer. And that's the truth. So if you're handy, on August the 17th, we'll have a kind of a celebration, not as elaborate as this one. Hard to get the band together and the Admiral and all these people, but they'd probably come if we ask them. And we'll be doing that again exactly on August the 17th, 45-year celebration. I just want to visit again with my Ford people here. We had made quite a few acquisitions, maybe 8 or 10 or 12, I don't know how many, and we decided we'd like to have this to be a Ford dealer here. We've had some success with Honda and our other brands here, and Nissan, and we love doing business up here. But this was probably the hardest acquisition we ever made. We came here, and what was outside of this, right side of this building here, there were pickets. So I said, man, I'm a union guy. Got to get rid of this. We got to settle this deal up. What's going on here? Well, I found out that they'd been here for 3 years picketing this location. Well, we settled that deal, and of course we went right into business, and the city helped us with that also. So here we are now, and then Kevin's here. Where's Kevin at? Kevin knows that Kevin was told by the Ford Motor Company that this location was probably not exactly right. The Obama administration had been downsizing car dealerships for whatever reason he thought was right. But anyway, some of my good friends were not in business any longer, and they kind of had that plan for this location. Kevin and I got along pretty good. He had an uphill battle with his factory because they were getting the heat. Anyway, we survived it, right, Kevin? And guess what? Bomm Ford is the #1 Metro Ford dealer in the state of Missouri. So we're proud of that. I don't know of any car dealer that before he goes to bed at night, he calls up to see how many cars he sold. I still do that too. But the one thing I always ask John, I said, John, what you got to tell me, you told me how many cars, did we hire anybody today? Yeah, Dad, we picked up 2 more employees. Well, that's going to happen right here. We'll be picking up employees here. We'll be selling more cars here. We got this gorgeous building here. We got beautiful signage. So I get a kick out of that. I get a kick out of getting a good guy and a good gal into a good job. I know how important it is to them and their families. And that's what I get out of this business, and it's really fun for me to do that. So we want that to happen and keep happening as we keep growing. We'll do that when we take over Toyota. If you remember, this was a 20-car-a-month dealership. I think we sold 160 or 80 last month. So we will do the same thing with Toyota. We will add people. We will sell more Toyotas. The city will prosper. We will all be happier. My employees will make a better living. It's going to be wonderful for all of us. So we're happy to be part of that. Well, one thing about us, we don't believe in good luck. We believe in making your luck. But we also believe that the good Lord will help those in business that deserve it and that are fair with their customers, fair with their employees, and go to work and do hard work every day. We also believe in divine intervention, and that's why I'm going to introduce Monsignor Bomm from St. Ambrose, Monsignor Polizzi from Rock. Our good friends are here to do the invocation, to bless our new building, and we've asked them, and they will say some prayers also for our fellow Americans who just died up in Orlando. So, Father, it's all yours. Thank you.
Monsignor and I, we pray for all who have traveled in from out of town to be here today. We pray that when you return home, your journey will be safe. And let us pray. All-powerful and all-merciful Father, you have created all things through your Son. You have made him the unshakable foundation of your kingdom. Through the gift of eternal wisdom, grant that this building, this Ford dealership, may be given for your glory and for your well-being. May progress day by day to its success. And we ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
May Almighty God bless the United States of America. Amen.
Well, now you've all officially been blessed. The building's been blessed. We feel we're blessed to work for Bomm Frank, thank you for being here today. Johnny, Jerry, the staff, everyone, Brad, and your great staff that you've done this to make a success. All the Ford executives that have come in today. Our Mustang clubs that brought Ford's history is right out in front of the showroom. All of our first responders, all of the Hazelwood fire and police cars, they're all Ford vehicles are here. I thank you to our chamber members from the Northwest Chamber, the West County Chamber, the Kauffman Fund, everyone that was here. Thank you for making this a great celebration, a great success.